the hot Black Friday deals, XFactor hype, war changes, slingshotting, shelling, all of that and more coming up on your Monday mailbag Thanksgiving edition, guys. And if you're ready for all of that, find that like button and you know what to do. Yeah, let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Oh, hello, friends. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin, and I hope you are having a great day. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you're ready for the Monday mailbag. We're talking about the hot Black Friday deals. We were talking about XFactor coming to Marvel Strike Force, confirmed in the blog post. How hyped are you? We're going to discuss some of the blog posts as well, and all of the questions from the Discord server for the normal Monday mailbag, guys. But before all that, let's pay some bills and give a big shout out to the sponsor of this video. If you love collecting, Raid Shadow Legends has over 500 champions that you could collect and upgrade. The good thing about Raid is no matter who you summon, they are still useful. A good champion, you're gonna build them up to take them into battle, crush your enemies. And a bad champion, they're still useful because you could sacrifice them as food for your good champion. Let's go ahead and see who we get here. Do we get good or do we get food? Oh, it is lovely. We got an epic champion, Bonekeeper. Lovely, lovely. I think this is one that we're gonna build up. Let's summon a couple more. And who is it this time? This is a rare champion. This is Gladiator. Gladiator's gonna be food. Let's go one more. This is a rare champion and it is Steel Boyer. This one is not a bad champion. I think I'm gonna keep this one. And here we are with Bonekeeper in battle. She just died there, but it doesn't matter because our stronger champions, they will finish this stage and she will still get experience in these campaign missions. Look at that, her experience went up by 7,200. And Raid is constantly releasing new champions. Behind me, that is some of the concept art for some new ones that they're working on. And if you're ready to start collecting some champions of your own, use the link in the description to download Raid. And if you're a new player, it gets even better for you because in your account, you will get 10 mystery shards, 50 gems, 100,000 silver, and the rare champion Slasher. Yeah, this guy will help you get through some of the early campaign missions. And your treasure, it is gonna be waiting for you right here. But hurry and click on the link because it's only gonna be available for the next 30 days. So good luck. And I'll see you there. Yeah, so big shout out to the sponsor of this video, Raid Shadow Legends. Make sure you use that link if that game looks appealing to you and you want to check it out. But without further ado, boom, let's talk about these Black Friday deals. Elite 6-star offer. Now, when I saw this, I was like, hey, Elite 6-star offer, that would be pretty good. But at 25 bucks, what if I got a Ravager Stitcher? What if I got a Ravager Boomer? There's total crap characters, 25 bucks down the drain. But chat, the Valley Club, you guys were mentioning something to me this morning during the live stream, thinking, what if you buy this and save this for when there's a character, new character in the store with a increased 15% drop rate? And yes, if I'm feeling a little crazy when I see this offer pop up, I might end up doing that. Character shard draft looks interesting. I'd have to see the exact wording on this, what exactly you have the potential to get, but pretty good for 10 bucks. Also a 4-star Elsa, and if this is a character that you need, don't have her yet, this seems like a pretty good deal. 10 bucks for a 4-star character and a mega orb. So this is very appealing to newer players, maybe even some mid-game players. But if you've been playing this game for a while, both of these probably not that appealing. Character offers for 2 bucks each. And the character's pictured is Strife right behind my camera here, but also seeing Scientist Supreme and Crystal. Could be pretty good. Again, I don't know exactly how many shards you're getting for these characters, but if you're needing some of these characters, 2 bucks, if they're giving you a lot of shards, seems like a pretty good deal. And a lot of $1 offers. I just spent $1 on some energy for, I think it's 1,000 energy over a course of a week. And I'm not sure what the rest of these are, but those are the deals in the stores. Let's go check out the blog post. All right, they've got the XFactor, ladies and gentlemen. Talked about this a little more in detail in Friday's video, but did want to touch over a few things here. So Longshot, Shatterstar, both confirmed coming to the XFactor team. So it looks like we're having 3 hero mutant teams, the X-Men, the X-Force, and X-Factor. Now, there are a couple other rumored mutants coming this next update. Let me know in the comments, guys, who do you think these rumored mutants are going to be a part of? The original X-Men team, the X-Force team, or this new X-Factor team? I am not sure. Haven't heard any rumors either way about them, but yes, let me know what your thoughts are. Now, Shatterstar and Longshot were confirmed in this blog post, and they have an interesting relationship that I thought was very interesting because they're both interdimensional beings, time-traveling beings. So Longshot is Shatterstar's father and his son. So they're both each other's father and son because of some weird interdimensional time travel shifting. So weird relationship with these characters, and they have a lot of synergy with each other. They're both part of the X-Factor team. They don't have that X-Men tag or that X-Force teams or tag. So curious to see who these other characters are going to be, what this team is going to be. But the thing I wanted to point out, their kits look very, very good, but a lot of their kit is based on crit damage, crit chance. So his passive, or his Longshot's passive, on self or ally crit, filling speed bar by 20% for self and all X-Factor allies. That looks very, very good. Curious to see who the other X-Factor characters are going to be, guys. Let me know. Who do you suspect is going to be on this X-Factor team once it fully comes out? Then we go down to Shatterstar's passive here on self or ally crit, barrier self for X-Factor allies for 20% of this character's max health, which means that his max health is going to be very, very important. So if I end up going crazy, buying that 6 red star offer for 25 bucks, this is probably the character that I'm going to be using it on. If we're just talking between Shatterstar and Longshot, because this barrier, 20% of his max health, the more max health he has, the better it is for that entire team. So out of these two characters, that is who I would use it on. But let me know who you would use that red star on if you eventually bought it and were feeling a little crazy during this holiday Thanksgiving Black Friday week. But without further ado, guys, let's jump ahead to your questions. Bally, keep up the great work. Love the content. Thank you, brother. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. I think War is getting a little stale. It needs some changes. What if, when a room is knocked out, that player can't attack anymore or limited to a minimum amount of attacks, say 5? That would be kind of rough. That would be kind of rough, especially if you're in one of the flight decks and you're not able to attack. But I guess you would have to coordinate that with your alliance. Make some kind of team leader for rooms where you can assign a different tune to each room and get some form of their passive as a room bonus. Do you have any fun ideas to shake up War? There's a lot of great ideas floating around, and a lot of them were shared with the folks over at Scopely when we actually was Fox at the time last year, September, when we went to their offices, and War was an issue that they saw. They wanted to make War not just a full clears, which is kind of is right now. And their solution, instead of creating these war room bonuses or switching to the rooms or a lot of other solutions, their solution was to make war defense teams. And that's when we got Coulson coming out. So as cool as a lot of these ideas are, unfortunately, I think it's just easier for them to make war defense characters. And that's kind of the route we're going to go. But I hope that some of the things that we saw in data mines last year with war room bonuses, saving up your alliance currency for that, I think that would be cool if that eventually did get added to the game. I would like to see that. Stay classy, Mike. Thank you for the question, brother. Double Dunk says, hey, Valley, I've got something. I'd like to know your opinion and idea. We've got 4 X-Men and a legendary X-Men that we got 2 more, giving us 7. If that happens this time around, we could get Kitty Pryde, Iceman, Rogue, Gambit. For the next legendary, could get Professor X, and then 2 more members in Nightcrawler and Angle, leaving them 4 extra members who could join Apocalypse. There's Horseman. I'd say there would be Angle, Wolverine. I think it's supposed to be Angel. Yes, I think that's what you mean. But it could be Angel, Wolverine, Psylocke, and Beast, all who've been Horsemen in the past. Yeah, so this question was written before we got that announcement of the X-Factor, so could be possible, or some of these rumored characters might be going on X-Factor. I know, for example, Iceman was a founding member of X-Men and a founding member of X-Factor, so not sure. It would be cool, though, and I'm not sure. I haven't seen a lot of rumors surrounding Professor X. I know the community has been wanting him for a while, but yeah, I haven't seen anything as far as rumors for that. But hey, sometimes they play things really close to the vest. I didn't start hearing around Shatterstar or Longshot for, you know, a few weeks before they were released. They didn't have this long buildup and long rumors like some other characters. So let's see what happens, and let's see what happens with these remaining characters in this update. But I would like to see another legendary. Professor X would be a candidate based on his power level, so we will see, brother. Next question. Hey, Valley, smashing it over here in Oregon, sending you some positive vibes. Thank you for those positive vibes. I'm trying to send them back to you, brother. Just started a graveyard shift, and I'm missing all my free energy and event energy. Do you know if there's a way to set my time to change time drops of free energy? No, unfortunately. That is something I've been wanting them to add as a feature into this game. There's other games in this genre that are very similar, that you're able to reset your cooldown time or reset your achievement time. I forget what that's called. Your server reset time, I think. But anyway, you're able to do that 2 times a year because of the changes of daylight savings time. And they have that in other games. I've been wanting that in Marvel Strike Force for a while now. But I think some of that got squashed a little bit back when Ultimus 7 first came out. Pants of Hulk, Legion of Cabal, they were competing to see who would be the first alliance to finish that. And just they completed so close to each other that it was a tie. But there was some issues there, because I think what I've heard, and I haven't confirmed this, but I heard there were some alliance members that were switching their time zones, saying they moved to China so they could be right at that first reset and get through Ultimus 7 a little quicker. And since then, I don't know if they've switched anybody's time zone because of that. Now, what I recommend in the meantime, writing into customer service, hopefully they can help you. Hopefully they're still doing that. But since that Ultimus 7 thing with Pants of Hulk and Cabal, I'm not sure if they're doing it anymore, but it wouldn't hurt to write into customer support and have that. But hopefully in 2021 is when we would see those 2 resets. It's something that I asked Rework about. So we'll see if it gets something added to the game. Hey, Valley, cheers from St. John, Newfoundland. I have 160 Ultimus credits and wondering where I should use them on an 80 Ultimus Orbs, 25 Orange Catalyst Orbs, or 16 Gear Orbs. So I have a lot of Ultimus credits as well. And the last time I was opening a lot of Ultimus Orbs was when I was trying to get shards for X23 right before Doc Ock came around. Wanted to get her at least to 5 stars. Now, that is the last time I opened it. I haven't opened any for Orange Catalyst or any gear or anything like that. Now, I would recommend, I don't think Ultron's that great anymore, so you might not want to be opening the Ultimus Orbs unless there's another character in there that you need shards for, kind of like what I did with X23. I'd probably save it for those Orange Catalyst Orbs, see what you need. If there's a character that you're trying to get up to gear 13 or 14 or 15, that's probably when I would open it. Yeah, whatever you need. But if you don't need any of these things, you could hold off on orange gear, hold off on some other gear orbs, then hold off, because there's been rumors floating around and an orb opening event. Now, previously, I don't think they counted these Ultimus Orbs in that on that orb opening event, but just in case, save them if you don't need them. Now, if you need them, open them right away, but if you don't need them, save them until you do need them. That is what my recommendation is for all orbs, actually, not just these Ultimus Orbs. All right, hey Valley, greetings from the Netherlands. Greetings, guys. Finished Dark Dimension 3 for the 2nd time, and I was wondering, what do you know a good team for Ultimus? Mine is now 82k, and it feels like a waste if I don't use him. Stay safe. Mine says around 50k. I don't use him, and it feels like a waste to have a character with 5 red stars on him and nowhere really to use him. So couple options here that I'm seeing. His kit is very weird, but I know some people are putting him on the Mercs team on War Defense, and that is an option if you have a built-up Ultimus. He could be a little tricky for some teams if you don't have the right RNG. He has a very unique kit. His basic is pretty good, but it's kind of like Korath's kit, where a lot of it depends on good RNG. He has a really strong basic 30% of the time. The other 70% is not that great. And his ultimate is very good against characters like Luke Cage that have a lot of debuffs on him. So you got a few options there. Now, I know some people are using him on a full Kree team, the full named Kree team. And that is decent if you're not using any of these characters any other places, like Captain Marvel and Minerva. I know they're on a lot of other teams. So if you're not using them, you could build this full Kree team and include Ronan, Korath, and Ultimus. And they're a pretty decent team, so I hear. But I haven't used that team to know it firsthand. But if you're not using some of those other characters, that's a pretty decent team for him, so I hear. Valley, love your work, mate. Thank you, brother. Hello from the great down under. Question. I'm almost finished a DD3 for the second run, which means 5 red star for Ultimus. Curious. Very similar question. If there's situations he's a viable character or his best is just leave him in the junkyard. So the reason I haven't really built up my Ultimus is because there's so many other characters that have so much more viability in many game modes that I'm going to use all the time. And while Ultimus kit seems very interesting and I would like to build them up, test them on some other teams, Black Order has taken a big priority for me. Symbiotes has taken a higher priority for me. Other off characters, other off teams, X-Force, I'm building them. I think a lot of there's more characters and more teams that have more value than Ultimus. So for me, he just remains in the trash pile. But if you need to use him on a team and you're not using some of the Kree, you could use him in that team that I mentioned in the previous question, brother. Valley, as my go-to source for all things MSF. Thank you, brother. I'm curious if you've heard rumblings of when a player base will get a second crack at AV and Scream, or if they're actually farmable. I think at some point they will be farmable, but not a lot of rumors as far as timing of when events drop and when characters are farmable. Those are things that I don't even hear rumors on. There's rumors on character releases, other things like that, but not on farmability, prices, things like that. Those things always shift and sometimes shift right up until they go live. So and as you know, some of these things go with errors in there because they shift so much. But not sure if it's going to be sometime before next summer. Blitz is the least favorite game mode for me, and with a newborn, I have even less time to push. So yeah, unfortunately, Blitz has become very stale. But fortunately, December 2020, so within the next month, we should be getting Blitz Sim. I'm crossing my fingers that it comes sooner in the month than later, but hopefully that'll ease it up. But as far as when AV Scream is going to be farmable, I don't know. I think some of that's going to be based on some of the offers. If those offers are still selling well, people are still buying those offers, they'll probably keep them in the store for a little longer. If not, if people stop buying those offers, they'll probably make them farmable unless they're needed for legendary or something. But yeah, no word on that, brother. ValleyFlyin, love your content. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well as well, Philly Sport. Notice that since Gear 15 items were introduced in store, they have increased the Gear 14 bottlenecks. The War and main stores do not add any extra spots, but reduce the chance of getting Gear 14 since the spot taken up by Gear 15 items. You're exactly right. I've noticed the same issue. Have you heard about MSF adding more farmable items, extra spot in the stores to keep fixing this? Not yet, but it took them a few months, if my memory is serving me correct, before they made an extra line to account for all these extra Gear 14 pieces. I think they're trying to keep a bottleneck on these things right now for some reason, and some of the Gear 14 pieces are farmable in that new Doom chapter. So I think when that third chapter comes around, hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers that all the Gear 14 pieces will be there, and yes, the bottleneck will just be the Gear 15 pieces. But yeah, I agree with you. I would like to see another line, but I think it was a few months after Gear 14 was released before they added another line in those stores. So hopefully in a few months, hopefully by February of next year, we get another line and we can get into Dark Dimension 4 easier. Hey, Valley, in your weekly news update, number 82, you mentioned some characters having their ultimate go off every turn. What do you think will happen if somebody ability blocks them? Thanks for all your help with the MSF content and the MSF community. So there were some lines for Dark Dimension 4 that certain characters would only do their special, like Falcon only doing his special on certain nodes, certain waves. If you want to look up all the information that has been data mined, make sure you check out msf.gg in their map section. They have all the maps there for Dark Dimension 4. But what do I think is going to happen if they get ability block? I think they're going to use their basic, but I don't remember. There were some raids that characters would always use their ultimate. So if somebody remembers that, let me know in the comments. I assume they would just use their basic though, even though it's hard-coded for them to only use their special or only use their ultimate. If they're not able to do it, I think it defaults to their basic. But let me know if you guys remember some of these other raids that they had that in there. Hey, Valley, hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well as well, brother. Sent it below to support. What do you think? This is a long one, guys. Let's see if we can read this whole thing. Hello. I believe Scream has been added to the Elite Store 2 weeks now, and I've checked consistently on every store refresh, plus done some refreshes with Cords, and I've not seen her yet. Brother, I'm in the same situation. As soon as she came to the store, I posted it on Twitter because I was super excited. I've not seen her once, so I've not used any of those credits there. I believe this brings up a bigger issue. If you keep adding more and more characters, you need to assess some stores the same way you address the premium. Mega Orbs remove old characters from it. Otherwise, every character will have less chance of appearing. If you're adding 4 new characters every month, I think it would be more appropriate for a store like Elite Store to add a new line for every quarter, for example. I like adding this line. Not removing characters, but I like adding another line to the War Store, to the Elite Store, to the normal supply store. I want another line for all of these things, and I think it does make sense as they expand the roster to keep our chances the same, to keep it the similar chances, the similar percent chances of our character that we actually want to appear in the store actually appearing in the store. So I would be so much in favor of this. Hopefully both these things. I predicted February for the other lines coming. I hope it comes before this. I hope all these things come in December, actually. And it should be a pretty big update coming in this next one. So hopefully they have some quality of life changes like this, brother. ValleyFlyin, I finished DD3 ×2, got X23 to 6 stars to unlock Doc Ock next pass. Congratulations, brother. Do you think it's better to use War Store currency to get more X23 to 7-star Doc, or mini 15s, as I want Doom bad too? I have 5 red stars on my Doc Ock. Thanks, mate. So ask yourself, which character would be more valuable to you? Doc Ock as maybe a war defense character, maybe a war offense character, or Doom that could be valuable in more game modes. So I think with a 6-star unlock, you should be pretty good for Doom. My Doom is pretty decent, and he's only a 5 gold star, and I probably get at least 6 or 7 next time he comes around. But with that said, I think Doom is the big prize. So I think the common thought would be get your gear 15s and unlock Doom as soon as possible. But for me, I'm doing kind of the opposite. I'm super close to X23 at 7 stars. So I'm farming her up, gonna get her to 7 stars. After that, it's just gonna be gear 15 pieces for me, brother. But yeah, I think with a 6-star Doc Ock, you would be good, but gear 15, very, very important. So I think Doom is gonna be more important than Dr. Octopus. Valley, best wishes from the UK. Best wishes back to you from the US, brother. Now that Ant-Man and Wasp are finally relevant, how about another run of the Tiny World event? I 7-starred them for the last time around, but they're still too weak to get that last node. Gold was really scarce at the time. So if I'm remembering this event correctly, this is one that you get to do once. It's not one that you could get a lot of, do this multiple times. So if you pass this and it comes back, then you don't really get anything. But if you haven't passed this, you get to unlock some of these other nodes. So yes, I would be much in favor of that for players like you that didn't get that 7-star the first or second time it came, or the last time it came back. I'm not sure how many times it's come back. Or newer players that never seen this event. So I like some of these events coming back. There was about 3 or 4 that happened in year 1, if I'm remembering correctly, that I would like to see come back. And I think this one did come back once more. But yeah, if they could bring all these limited time backs, maybe once a year or once every 6 months or something, for some new players that never got to get some rewards for this, I think it would be good. I'm very much in favor of this, brother. Hello, Valley, and another hello for the other Smash, the Super Smash brother. I almost forgot the Super there. All right, this may be an easy question. Well, so if you skip it, perhaps you could do a video on the topic. Now that ISO 8 has been around for a while, what is your or the suggested daily routine for putting ISO 8 on characters? How much, and mainly the best way to farm ISO 8 and ions, the currency? Keep on smashing, brother. So I don't do really too much with ISO 8. When it first came out, my goal was to get my main characters up to level 3, and there's a couple characters that I took up to level 5, Thanos and Ebony Maw. But my first goal, arena team and raid team, get them up to level 3, all of them. After I did that, I went back and got everyone to level 1. Then I went back and got my entire roster to level 2. Now, in between that, there was a few characters like Thanos, like Ebony Maw, that I took up to level 5. I took the rest of my Black Order up to level 4 after I got everybody up to level 1. And then with symbiotes, I'm taking a few things like the damage and a few other things up a little more. And as far as farming, I'm just farming the big nodes that you get more ions every single day. I think I have a lot of those crystals that I could use freely. But it's probably 2 times a week that I go in and start to look at some characters, some teams that I'm building that need a little more ISO 8 on them. Right now, my focus is making sure that all of my characters are level 2 at least for that increased health bonus. But I'm not focusing on it too much. That's why I'm not stressing on it too much, and I'm not hating on the system too much. But ions are definitely the bottleneck here. So I think if you do it a few times a week instead of every day, it will be a little more satisfying. You'll be able to upgrade more characters. But in the meantime, I'm just farming those big nodes that you need 120 energy for everything. I think it's those bigger nodes that award the ABCs, things like that. Hey, Valley, I know you've discussed this before, but can you explain how Slingshot actually works in Arena? All right, so example of this, and I don't know if these numbers work out as far as attack positions, but just for simplicity's sake, let's say I'm at number 10. I am attacking somebody at 5. If I win that battle, I'll go up to number 5. But let's say during that battle, someone at 15 comes and attacks me at 10. I win my battle, I go up to 5, and then the person that was battling me at 15, then they win their battle. Well, what will happen is I will drop back to 15. The person that was at 15 goes up to number 5, if that makes sense. And that's what slingshotting is, which is different than the arena cheat that is being used by some people that I want the devs to fix. This is the slingshotting, just something that's been in the game for forever. And I think it's gonna be there, so you could use that to manipulate your attacks, which includes stretching out your battles as long as possible, because if you're in battle with that person at 5, that person at 15 wins their battle, well, you're technically dropping down to 15, and then when you win your battle, if you do it after that person finishes their battle, well, then you're gonna jump right up to 5 because that is the person that you're attacking. So there is some advantage to extending your arena fights as long as possible, but the disadvantage is, let's say you forget and you don't win your, and you don't forget to come, or you forget and you don't finish your battle, well, then it's gonna be a loss. So if you're extending your battles, just make sure you remember, and yeah, just remember that there's extra time out to it. But yeah, it is a system that's in the game right now that has worked for me, and I've won battles. I'm like, oh, I just got slingshotted way up and it's worked against me. I've actually slingshotted all the way back from fighting for the top 10. And I think it was like 4 or 5 slingshots in a row, dropped me back like that all the way to 40. I guess I just was unlucky, and there was multiple people attacking each other. One of them was attacking me, and then boom, I just dropped all the way back. So it's helped me in the past. It's hurt me in the past, but I think over time, it's kind of evened out, but that is what it is. And yeah, hopefully that helps you, brother. Valley, first, love your content and your energy, brother. Thank you, Mighty Joe. Your last video has been eye-opening, in which I don't know about people who are cheating in Arena. I wanted to ask if you've heard of the Shell Alliance and if you could shed some light on that. So this was a thing that was a little more prevalent about a year ago, and since then, Fox, I can't remember if it was Scopely or Foxnix that did it. I don't remember when it actually happened with the name change, but they've increased some rewards. They switched on the reward structure for Alliance Wars. So I don't know if this is that prevalent yet, but what alliance shelling is, and this may not even be a thing anymore, but basically the way that the war matchups are calculated is by your win-loss record, not by your total collection power. So what some alliance were doing back in the day, they had an alliance that was a shell alliance that they would go to after they've won up their battles, and then they would use that to lose. And because of that, they would get easier matchups in their upcoming season, and they would just flip-flop. One alliance, the alliance that they're in, would be winning and getting some big punch-ups because they would get easy war matchups. And then the other alliance, the Shell alliance that they were using, would be losing every single war because they had all bad characters in there. So, and then they would just flip-flop. So they keep getting easy matchups. Now, the season rewards have shifted since then, so I don't know if it's even worth the trouble to create a Shell alliance and go back and forth at this time anymore. But I don't really hear of this anymore. So yeah, report them if this is going on, because I don't know if it's against the terms of service, but it is against the spirit of competition of this game. So yeah, it sucks. So, but you could also reiterate Echo's point about Slingshot if that's an ethical way. It kind of is an ethical way because it's in the game. It's not cheating. It's just kind of a weird system in the game that is in there, and you could use that system to your advantage and use it to your disadvantage. I guess I've like I said in the previous question, I've been hurt and helped by slingshotting. So hopefully over time it evens out for you if you've been hurt by this. Hopefully there's enough chances that you've been helped by this that yeah, you could actually it evens out, hopefully. All right, hey there, hey buddy from Finland, what is up? From Texas rather. When you're pushing high in blitz like ghost time around, what are you doing every rotation? Are you grinding to certain gear from 7 to 8.3 and dropping down? So I'll show you what I did in this last blitz for ghost, guys, because I've changed my blitz strategy. That anti-venom milestone event really turned me off the blitz. So let me go into my roster right now and show you what I'm doing right now. So this is my save squads right here. This is an Ultimus 7 team when I'm not using my symbiotes. And then we start with all the trash teams. So starting in blitz rotation, I use these teams, all of these teams, just working my way up. These first 4 get me through tier 1, the next 4 get me through tier 2, and it's just work my way up. Now these are my trash teams. At this point, if you see this match, and I try to organize them by collection power. Once in a while, like this team, this got a little stronger than this one, but normally they're organized by collection power. But the break is right here because this turns from trash teams to teams that could actually win at 8.0, 8.3 if they have the right matchup. So then I just keep working up, and then by the end of my rotation, all of my teams, first rotation, I should be about tier 8 or so with all of these teams. And I have another trash teams that I don't have room for in a save squad, but that should be a tier 8. Then next rotation, I'm dropping down to my good squads again, which again is Hydra. That has the lowest collection power. So then I'm just going up here. And then the rest of them, once I get to tier 8.3, is auto. There's some fights I know that are going to win. Black Order wins, Symbiotes win, Marauders win, X-Men win. There's teams that I know are going to win automatically at 8.3. And right now, what I'm doing, because I just don't care about blitz as much, but I do like the rewards, just putting my teams in there and hitting auto. Win, lose, does not matter. I try to get matchups that I think I could win, but if not, I'm not stressing about it like I was before. I'm just going on to the next team and hitting auto. Kind of what's going to happen when with a lot of players and their blitz scores once these auto blitz comes around. They're just going to hit a button, win, lose, it doesn't matter. Let me go to the next one and the next one and the next one. I'm just doing the same thing with a lot longer time frame because of the auto play, but that's what I'm doing. Hopefully that helps you with these subsequent blitzes that you're doing, and hopefully that saves you a lot of time. What I noticed with that anti-venom event, I think it was a venom blitz during that event, I scored higher, dropping down and just focusing on autoing as much as possible. I scored higher in that than the previous week with She-Hulk that I was actually trying for and trying to pick a good matchup. So I think just the volume of fights is going to be very important, especially with Sim Blitz coming. But that's what I'm doing, and hopefully that helps you to save you some time and get you a higher score in Blitz. Hey, ValleyFlyin, what T4 should I have on Black Order? Already have Ebony Moss Special and Ultimate. Those are very good ones. Thanos Ultimate and passive. The normal Thanos passive is very good. Not as good for empowered Thanos, but I don't think you're just going to use him empowered all the time. So that's a very good passive. Other ones I would suggest, now, if you look at my Black Order, I have a lot of T4s in them. Some of the characters are fully maxed out with their T4s, but if we're just going bare minimum here, I think that Thanos Special should be your next one, because you want all those things flipping all the time. So this special is very important, and if you're using that basic often enough, which I am, which is why I justified putting the T4 in as basic as well, those are ones you want to look at. So you might want to fully max out Thanos, but other ones that you want to look at, if you're going really budget, the Cull Obsidian passive, because that gives more health, not just the Cull, but to an entire Black Order team, and the Corvus passive, because that gives more damage to the entire team. So those are what I recommend if you're going really minimal with your T4s for the Black Order, brother. All right, with X23 going to an uncanny team in the future, would Longshot and Shatterstar work with X-Force before the entire XFactor team comes out? So first thing, I'm not sure she's getting that uncanny tag ever. She got an X-Men tag, but I don't think she's going to that uncanny team. I think there may be some other plans. And like I said in the beginning, we got 3 mutant hero teams now: X-Men, XFactor, and X-Force. Not sure how these teams are going to go, how these teams are going to work out once all these characters come into the game. So we'll have to see with that. So if so, who would leave the X-Force team to allow room for Shatterstar and Longshot besides X23? I think X23 is very important on that team. When you're talking about war offense, there's 2 moves. The big ultimate from Negasonic, which is kind of important to have a lot of X-Force characters on that team, because she's going to go first. She's going to go very fast the more X-Force characters you have on that team. So I'm not sure if this is a team that I want to switch in particular, especially because we don't know what the tags these other mutants, these other rumored mutants are going to have when they come to the game. So Negasonic and X23 are probably the most important members of that team. I've one-shotted people, or I've taken people out with Negasonic's ultimate, then somebody drops into the yellow, which means that X23 gets speed bar. She does her special, and then that drops somebody even lower, and then she goes with her big ultimate and takes out like pretty much the entire team. And if there's anybody remaining at that point, then Cable, Deadpool, Domino clean them up. But yeah, I think Cable, Deadpool, and Domino are the least important members of that team, and I think the most important members are Negasonic and X23. With that being said, I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm not gonna put them on that team. I'm not gonna combine the teams until we know where all these characters are gonna work out, or especially if we know what's gonna happen with XFactor, because not much is known about that team yet. Just 2 members of that team, and we don't know the synergy. We don't know what game mode it's going to be awesome in, but I think they're going to have a lot of viability in many game modes. I think they're going to be a very, very strong team, possibly the raids as well. Greetings from Southern Indiana. I hope all is going well. Same to you, brother. I hope all is going well with you also. Recently pulled my first 7 red star character, Ironheart. That's not the worst one, but that's pretty good. I know all the concern about power armor's inconsistency and such, but still, I'm choosing to embrace this gift of 7 red star luck and build my power armor team anyway. That is good. I can't seem to find any solid recommendations for T4 for the abilities. What would you recommend for T4 priority for power armor? Thanks in advance. Let's go smash it, bro. So there's actually 3 that I think are really important on this team. The first is the Ironheart passive for more health, armor. You also have that rescue passive for more health, more armor. Not armor, barrier. And then I like that ultimate of Ironheart for that 2 turns of defense down instead of just 1. So those, if you're going real minimal, I think that's all you really need for this power armor team to work. There's a couple that I have, like the passive on War Machine, which is kind of a double-edged sword with his taunt. And there's a couple more that I have on Falcon, but that's just because I was really building my Falcon to be really, really beefy. So if you're going real bare minimum, passive on Ironheart and rescue, and the ultimate on Ironheart, I think those are the most important ones, brother. Next question though, do you think Blitz needs a rework? Also, got any advice for high scores in Blitz, because I'm trying to get Ghost. I do think Blitz needs a rework, and I think it is coming with this the auto sim Blitz. So hopefully that is good and allows us to spend less time on Blitz and more time on other game modes. And as far as high scores, I've just been autoing and not worry about the matchups, not finding a good matchup. To some extent. I mean, if I see a Black Order or a Phoenix or a Symbiotes, I'm probably going to avoid that team because I don't want to play all my matchups, but I'm just finding a decent matchup, auto, not worrying about it. If I drop down to tier 8 or tier 7, then I just keep winning. And that's what I recommend nowadays on Blitz, because it has gotten pretty stale. It takes a lot of time. Our rosters have gotten way bigger and rotations are starting to get longer and longer and longer. So I cannot wait enough for this Blitz sim to come. But yeah, it definitely needs a little bit of a rework. And hopefully Blitz sim is all it needs for that rework to start making it a decent game mode again, for getting resources and not really having to play it. I think that's what's going to come of Blitz. Hey Valley, much appreciated with your vids as always. Next Doc Ock Legendary, I want to be able to unlock it. My question comes down to the influence of red stars. If you had my roster, who would you give the most resources to, and who would you pair him with? You have Rhino at 6 red stars, Mysterio at 6 red stars. That's good, because that is part of the best version of Sinister 6 right now, the Mysterio Rhino version, along with Doc Ock. And your 2 chargeable characters, Swarm, Electro. You have Swarm at 4 red stars, 5 yellows, and Electro at 4 yellow, 3 reds. I think that is the team. That is the way to go. So I would definitely put more resources in Electro and Swarm, get them up to at least tier 12 if possible. Probably would skip on Shocker, Green Goblin, and Vulture, especially with those low red stars on your Vulture and Green Goblin. But I still would go with the traditional team. And the Electro ultimate, you might want to put that T4 into that if you have some extra T4 material lying around. Not sure what to do with, because getting the offense down for 2 turns on that opening turn is going to help with that survivability. Allow Doc Ock to get some time before he gets that big ultimate going off. So that's who I'd build, brother. Rhino, Mysterio, Swarm, and Electro. Not too outside the box with that thinking, but the team works best for a reason. That team works really, really well. Next question. Been watching Marvel 616 on Disney. Do you think Scopely will bring us brute force or Japanese Spider-Man? I mean, it depends how long this game goes on, depending, you know, how many characters are going to come to the game. Hadn't heard of brute force, so I looked them up, and there's actually a character on that team right now named Boomer. So I know there's some people that would be happy if Boomer came to the game, but Japanese Spider-Man, all those stuff would be cool. I just would rather see more iconic characters like a Moon Knight, like a Silver Surfer, like a lot of the mutants and X-Men and some other spider characters come to the game before some of these more obscure characters. But any character, I like when they come to the game. I like a bigger roster to the game, except with my Blitz rotation that we talked about, because it makes it take longer and longer the more characters that get added. Next question. What is up, brother? I'm having a hard time justifying boosts in War. Aside from a few team boosts that don't seem to help much anymore, I've been saving my Blitz credits, only buying War energy. Do you think a new character will ever come to the Blitz store? Ever is a long, long time. Now, we just had Domino added to the Orbs in September, so I think it is due. I think it is due for a new character, because in my mind, that doesn't count as someone being added to the Orbs. So I think Blitz store is very due for a new character. Hopefully that comes sooner rather than later. So you could save your Blitz currency for that, but yeah, the boosts for defense, they don't seem to do too much, but I still do them anyway. One, because it's a requirement in my alliance, and two, just if you are able to do that and get a sneaky defensive win because of that boost, then it's worth it. But most of the time, I think it's a waste, and you could just roll over them anyway. But I still do it. Also, side note. Really, are we really not calling the new Gear 15 pieces mini unique pieces? I've been calling them Gear 13, Gear 14, and Gear 15 uniques, just because that's the easiest simplicity. I mean, I think at some point we're going to get Gear 16 and Gear 17. And if we could go going mini, and ultimate mini, and extreme mini, it'll get confusing. So I think the easiest method right now, I'm calling it, for me at least, and just to, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Gear 13, Gear 14, and 15 uniques is what I'm calling them, brother. Hey, buddy, what order do you have your Mercs team on War defense, and why that order? And what team do you think is better on War defense, the Mercs or Asgard? I think it's definitely going to be the Mercs. There's less valid counters to the Mercs and more valid counters to the Asgardians, and more ways to beat them. Now, both teams are horrible if you're going with the wrong teams, but I think the Mercs give you less options, so I think they're going to be a better team on War defense. Now, as far as my placement, it's not right. It's just a old save squad that I never got around to optimizing to make use of the Merc Riot Guard and Merc Lieutenant bonuses. So this is how I have them, but this is not how I recommend placing them. Merc Riot Guard is at the end. Killmonger's right next to him, so he could counterattack a little bit more. Then I have Shuri, just because that was the open spot in my save squads. Then I got Taskmaster and Lieutenant. So really not making use of the bonuses for Lieutenant or for Riot Guard, but I think the best order would be Taskmaster at the end, Lieutenant next to him, and then Riot Guard in the center. That way you get some healing from Merc Lieutenant to Taskmaster and Merc Riot Guard. Now, as far as the other side, I see some arguments going Shuri right next to Riot Guard, Killmonger right next to Riot Guard to get some deflects for Shuri, but I still like that counterattack, so I think it's going to go Taskmaster, Lieutenant, Riot Guard in the center. I like Killmonger next to Riot Guard so he can get that counterattack, and then Shuri at one end so she could constantly be healing people, providing defense up. That's how I think I would place them if I ever got around to moving around my save squad, but yes, hopefully it helps you, and hopefully it gets you some defensive wins, brother. What's going on, Valley? Not sure if I've experienced this game fatigue or not buying into this Pimtech team as the next coming, but I couldn't bring myself to grind and blitz as normal. Seems like whenever the new hotness or flavor of the week team it is, it gets quickly nerfed behind the scenes by power creep. But what do you recommend for the Blitz Blues? So that power creep is going to happen. And whatever team we have now, I think Black Order and Symbiotes are the two top teams in the game. They're not going to be the top teams all the time. There's going to be another new flavor that's going to beat them. That's going to be better than them. That's going to be countering them. And that's just kind of how these hero collector games go. The newer characters are going to outshine some of the early characters unless those earlier characters get a rework. Now, what am I doing in Blitz? I talked about it earlier. Not really caring as much. Just putting in an auto, picking a battle that I think I win, and auto, and walking away. watching TV, doing something else, making a video or whatever, having your phone go off and auto that all the time. And hopefully that saves a lot more time when auto blitz comes around, like I talked about. But yeah, that's what we're recommending for the Blitz Blues, brother. Not caring as much and just going auto. I found that the amount of battles that you're doing, the rotations you're doing, is way more important than winning every single battle. So I've placed less emphasis on winning every battle and just hitting auto as often as possible. That's helped for some of the fatigue. All right, for some of the past weeks, I've had guys in my alliance, they join my alliance and leave. So now I thought, now I've heard from a couple of them asking, why do we kick them? I believe it's a problem. Anyone else experienced this? I have not heard of people getting randomly kicked since that snap that happened, and everybody, half of the alliances in the game got kicked. But if this is widespread, this should be reported, because that is not good. Report as much information as you can to support, brother. The more information they have, the more able they are to replicate this and hopefully find a solution for this problem. But I am curious as well. Are any of you experiencing this type of phenomenon where people getting kicked randomly? I'm not sure if it's a device thing or if there's some button they're hitting randomly, or I don't know. I have not heard of it. So let me know in the comments what you think. And hopefully if this is an issue that's affecting a lot of people, this gets solved very, very quickly. So let's see if we can weed this thing out and get this thing out there and get this thing fixed, guys. Do you think it would be good for Scopely to add another game mode or feature for us to use our teams in? Endgame players are already starting to push past a usable number of teams in war, and blitzing with low quality teams isn't fun. I know auto blitz is coming soon, but then we have even less interaction with the roster. So I gotta be careful how I answer this, because I've saw some things that I am not supposed to talk about yet. But let me just say this: there were some things that was talked about in that Strike Time episode that they're trying to push out, and they may be looking very fun. So I'm trying to keep this vague as possible on purpose. So I hope that's specific enough to answer your question while still being vague enough to not get me in any trouble. But I think there's some things coming, brother, that will make use of more of your roster than you're using right now in War and Blitz and some other game modes. Hopefully, cross my fingers. Hopefully it's like I saw. Hello from Michigan. I've recently beat Dark Dimension 2 twice, and I have a gold amount of gold gear now. Would it be worth it to gear 13 Shuri and use her on my Ultimus 7 team? Currently using Symbiote SpiderMan, Carnage, Minerva, Hela, and I'm switching between Venom and Thanos for that 5th spot. What 5 out of these would you suggest? So let me ask you, before you spend any orange gear on Shuri, are you doing all the content that you want right now in the raids and in arena? If you are, and there's not anything that you're really struggling with, I would just save this gear and I would start prepping for Dark Dimension 3 and start leveling up characters that you intend to use in Dark Dimension 3, and not use it on characters that are that look cool, that might help you a little bit on some days in Ultimus 7. But if you're pretty much doing what you need to do, yeah, I probably would not gear up Shuri. Now, if you're missing some sustainability, you need some healing, you need someone that's going to give defense up to your characters, yes, gear her up, build her up, and that'll help you with the raids. Get that set before you start thinking about Dark Dimension 3. But if you're already set in your Ultimus raids, then yeah, start focusing on Dark Dimension 3 right now. And save, especially with the Dark Dimension 4 coming up very soon, and maybe waiting till that and start gearing up characters that you could use in Dark Dimension 3 and Dark Dimension 4. Next question. I heard there'll be a new border portrait for completing Dark Dimension 4. Did I miss that in an announcement? If it's true, have they announced the color? Thank you for smashing it and keeping it up, brother. All right, so they haven't announced it yet, but it was in a data mine from Zarathos and his Zaratools website or his Discord server. So these are what they look like. These are what was data mined. So yeah, that's what it's looked like. Green, and it kind of matches the green theme in the game though. So yes, this is what they are data mined, at least right now. It hasn't been announced officially, but yeah, this is what it looks like. Let me know your thoughts on it, guys. And all right, that appears to be it for all of your questions, guys. Thank you, everyone that left a question on the Discord server, whether it got answered or not. I appreciate all of your questions, guys. Now, I hope you have a great, awesome week. I hope you guys eat a lot of turkey if you celebrate Thanksgiving. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you find something to be thankful for this week, guys. Let's take this opportunity to be thankful. whether you celebrate Thanksgiving in the US or not. Let's just have a good, thankful week, guys. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some questions answered and it helps you in Marvel Strike Force. I will see you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe, smash on that like button, join the notification squad, check out some of the links below, and give me a Hulk fist bump before you go. ValleyFlyin, out!